Now... Peter Barakan?
こんにちは NHK です。
Oh no. Wait, that's not the NHK I was talking about. Wait, I don't even have a TV at home. Welcome to the NHK, have a look around. Anything that brain of yours can think of can be found. We got 24 hours of content, some better, some worse. If none of it's of interest to you, it's too late to present the video today, huh? Are we going to have to fire her? Yeah, I tried calling, but she's not picking up. Okay then, yeah. Did I hear you singing just now? Me? No. Oof, I managed to escape, but they took the form they made me fill out, and now they are going to charge me for TV money until hell freezes over. Damn corporations with their disgraceful practices that result in a person becoming a hikikomori. Our luck is that someone discovered everything between the lines of this whole operation and discovered the truth behind the NHK. Or was it Nihon Hikikomori Kyokai? I have to speak like this because otherwise they will find me again. His name is Sato Tatsuhiro. Welcome to the NHK. Come and take a seat. Would you like to see the news or learn some culture from the country overseas? Welcome to the NHK. I'm going to come here in I's place because she didn't show up for work today for some reason. But you have the same voice, you just changed the PNG. No, stay quiet, I'm telling a little story here, for fuck's sake. Right. Where were we? We are here in the middle of Tokyo, a magnificent place with a lot of history behind. But it is in these complex streets that we find what we came looking for today. On the outskirts of Kawasaki, we have a place. This is Mita House, a very common cheap rental place in the city suburbs for those who are not yet willing to pay a lot of money in the largest metropolis of the world. But what interests us is what's inside. Don't make much noise. This is a not so rare specimen of a creature that hibernates in its den 24 hours a day and 365 days a year. But this specific one is a special specimen. He's not just an asshole, but he's also a hikikomori. No way. Anyway, this poor man is the victim of a great societal conspiracy that makes him retreat into his room indefinitely. Luckily, he's not entirely alone. His old school friend lives in the apartment next door and... Not only that, but a strange girl for some reason showed a lot of interest in helping this guy named Sato Tatsuhiro. That girl is Misaki-chan. No, I know we talked about another the other day, but don't you dare compare the two beyond their names. Nakahara Misaki doesn't deserve to be disrespected like that, huh? Alright, even though Sato is a Nito and a hikikomori through and through, it's that same disdain for the way his own life has become that motivates him to escape this mental maze he finds himself in and leave that room up there. But nothing will be that easy, because after all, everyone finds themselves in that situation for a reason, and little by little you will understand Sato's. Hikikomori is a term that was popularized in the mid-90s and early 2000s, and it's a horrible situation. With the improvements of technology, it becomes increasingly easier for someone to lose contact with society, and unfortunately, for some people, this same situation offers comfort in having to deal with the world that is always moving without waiting for anyone. Many people find themselves lost in what to do, especially after leaving the treadmill of school, and are left alone with their own thoughts, the same ones who seek the biggest comfort they can find. In 2002, the novel NHK ni Youkoso appeared amid all the hype of the word hikikomori as a response to the whole situation, because at that time the media, especially the Japanese media, strangled the topic until it could no longer be done, as to be expected, right? And it ended up that hikikomori became a thing almost like a mini taboo. All the kid had to do was stay in his room playing Pokemon for the visiting aunt to start talking shit, because the kid doesn't want to talk about product 69 in a cosmetics catalog or any Japanese equivalent. So NHK ni Youkoso quickly received a name in the community because it portrays the situation in the most human way possible, showing all sides of what happens and what goes on a Hikikomori's head, doing two things at the same time. Those on the outside, who don't have a shred of Hikikomori inside their soul, now have the possibility of understanding more or less what someone who suffers from this goes through, and shows how to be able to empathize or help someone in need, but also does something else, showing the Hikikomori itself another person in the same situation, that even though it's difficult and in the middle of all the self-destructive ideas, it's a character who manages to get out of that whole situation. It's perfect how NHK portrays all of this. It is not a story that has the format of a story. It's not because Sato receives help that he will help himself. Nothing is simple, nothing is black and white, nothing is structured like something you read or watch in any other media out there. It's not made for your convenience. We are talking about a mental situation which is no joke. Here what the author wants to show you is a life that is real, not fictional. Just because it's more rewarding for the viewer to see something develop doesn't mean something has to be developed. All the characters are human, they have their virtues, but they also have a bunch of flaws. They are all deplorable people. Not Misaki, she has her huge problems, her selfishness, but she's a sweetheart. So just because Sato is the protagonist doesn't mean you root for him. Just because he's an oppressed Hikikomori doesn't mean you root for him. You root for him to get out of that situation, not for him himself, because he's a complete bastard. He's the one who put himself in that situation. He's the one who made the choices that keep him there, and he's the one who doesn't value those who really reached out to help, lied to those who love him, and also the one who always takes the easy way out no matter how horrible it is. All because of fear. What people will think, fear of leaving the routine of society, but more than anything, fear of leaving that horrible environment of a room that is so comfortable. But Sato has a catch, even if little by little, and perhaps for reasons that are completely unrelated or contrary to the situation, ends up unintentionally always taking a step forward to better himself, and that shows that it is enough. The initiative is what triggers his liberation, no matter how twisted it is. Even if he takes 5 steps back, he little by little breaks down the mental barriers that have been placed in his head. Suddenly, it's not so difficult to go and talk to a friend, go for a walk in a koen, go to the front of a school to take photos of catch a train, go to a convention, and finally beat the conspiracy, the NHK. Wow. The situation is that we all have an NHK coming knocking on the door. What depends on us is how we deal with it and when. Tell the foreman to go away and throw an egg at his head. Welcome to the NHK is an amazing anime, but it's not something conventional. It's not something you expect to watch or read. You literally finish the series relieved that you have nothing else to watch, because even though it has its comic reliefs, it's jokes that break you even if they are completely wrong. It's an anime that you don't enjoy, but that's the intention. You are not supposed to enjoy the turbulent life of a Hikikomori self-destructing into infinity, and for that reason, NHK is simply sensational. I finally made it. Pine hasn't fired me yet, has he? Are you presenting the video in my place? I am. Welcome to the NHK isn't for everyone, okay? Dealing with the Hikikomori situation is already heavy enough, but here it's not just a superficial thing. The themes spoken are uncensored, not afraid to show how horrible they are, even in Sato's distorted head, so a lot of people can feel very uncomfortable, in addition to the discomfort that the story itself wants to convey. But for others, it is exactly this, showing how low Sato reaches, the atrocities he does to the people around him, especially Misaki, and also what the people around him do to him, that has the power of life, the light at the end of the tunnel to motivate someone to take a step, no matter how small, to free themselves from the constraints of Hikikomori. There's no need to tell a legal tale, there's no need to embellish things and transform the Hikikomori situation fiction into something fantastic. It's a story that tells reality and that it's more than enough to show you everything. A happy and realistic, poorly made story where Sato only accepted Misaki's help and grace is more than counterintuitive to the entire topic. Life is not on and off, yes or no, it's gradual, and for that, the author's attention to detail is simply perfect. He knows exactly who he made NHK for, and he doesn't forget what his story has to show, and will leave a deep impression on anyone who knows the true meaning of NHK. Many years ago, I watched Koi no Katachi while going through a rough patch, and here the same feeling that I had at the time applies. It was very difficult for me to process and express the story. It's a difficult situation that I certainly don't have enough qualifications to go on saying stuff willy-nilly around, because as shown perfectly in NHK, you never know the weight your words have and what they could mean to someone else, so that's why I don't feel very comfortable recommending Welcome to the NHK exactly, because for some people it will be a very negative experience, but I also believe that the power of this work to help is far superior than all that, and it's certainly the best story of any media when the matter is to portray loneliness and isolation. So you know who you are, and for everything I said in this video and for what you already know, you make the choice if it is something that is worth it for you. And finally, I hope that no one is kidnapped by NHK like me, and always remember, one step after the other.